This is Arise News. We interrupt this program for a live event.
Let me ask, with your permission, Right Honorable Prime Minister, the President Chairman of the Board of Directors at Afreximbank, who also happens to be the Chairman of the Board of Directors at Feda, Professor Bennett Orama, to please give us some remarks. As a kind gesture from the Right Honorable Prime Minister, kindly use, there you go, all right.
Thank you very much, and let me thank the Right Honorable Prime Minister for the honor of using this podium. Excellency, Right Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Excellencies, Ambassadors, members of Diplomatic Corps, board members of Feda, Afreximbank, executives of Afreximbank and Feda, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me take your permission to stand on already established protocols. It is with profound sense of fulfillment and joy that we gather here today to celebrate a milestone in the annals of Africa. Almost 6 years ago, to this day actually, on March 21, 2018, in this city and this very convention center, African governments, under the aegis of the African Union, in an unprecedented show of will, launched the agreement establishing the African Continental Free Trade Area. Today, we formally launch one of the vehicles that will drive the continent towards the realization of that monumental continental aspiration. This occasion celebrates the remarkable progress we have collectively made in creating and nurturing an institution we believe will be one of the most consequential for Africa in the years ahead, and I dare say, even more consequential than Afreximbank. On the occasion of the signature of the host country agreement of Feda in Cairo on November 22, 2020, the Rwandan government, through its ambassador to Cairo, made a strong statement of intent. It said, and I quote, "The government of Rwanda is happy to have signed these key agreements with Afreximbank. Rwanda is glad to host Feda as we work together to achieve the dreams of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement on the continent. We will work together to ensure that Feda is successful in driving and achieving its mandate," unquote. Our presence here today to mark this auspicious occasion is a testament that the government of Rwanda, under the able leadership of His Excellency President Paul Kagame, has lived up to its commitment and shown unparalleled support for a smooth operation of the fund. The Board of Directors of Afreximbank and the Fund for Export Development in Africa are most grateful to His Excellency President Kagame and his government and the people of Rwanda for the unwavering support and causes that have formed the foundations on which Feda has so far thrived here in Rwanda. Your Excellency, today's ceremony may seem simple, but its impact is far-reaching. It marks a crucial step to realizing our shared aspirations of building the African economy with our own resources and institutions. History that has taught us that whether in China, India, Japan, or the Korean Republic in Asia, or whether in Brazil, in Latin America, or countries of the Middle East, reliance on domestic capital and institutions was the primary driver of their economic successes. Evidently, in describing the growth experience of Japan, one academic, Mr. Rubens, said in 1950, and I quote, Despite the difficult Oriental conditions that faced Japan, Japan succeeded in carrying out a continuous cumulative development. The process was only partly a planned government-sponsored effort. Japan did not rely upon foreign capital to take all the steps and foot all the bills, unquote. Feda adds to the pool of institutions helping Africa to create its own capital base for its own development, with a focus on providing long-term patient capital, targeting all segments from SMEs to corporates, and cutting across dynamic sectors of value addition, services, and technology. Feda is positioned to drive Africa's development under a new vision of decommoditized, growth-oriented pathways underpinned by a dynamic private sector. We all share the view that the goals of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement will be a mirage, and its benefits will accrue to others unless tangible steps are taken to create tradable goods and services for the continental market. We also do recognize that the benefits of the free trade agreement will not be evenly shared among all participating states if pragmatic steps are not taken to equip all economies, especially the small and fragile economies, with the capacity to produce goods or provide essential services necessary for the conduct of trade within the continent. Aside from Afreximbank's array of product offerings, we reckon that Feda represents an additional vehicle that will help catalyze and accelerate shared economic transformation and the continental integration agenda. Less than 4 years since the commencement of operations, the evidence of strategic importance of this institution is beginning to show, as it has started to leave impactful footprints across the continent. Funds under management under different strategies amount to just under $800 million. Feda is using some of these funds to create and mobilize additional funds, and is currently a co-promoter of a $500 million Africa Credit Opportunity Fund. With seed funding provided by Afreximbank, is also creating a $100 million venture capital fund to focus on startups and SMEs. In 2023, Feda became fund manager of the $1 billion FCFTA Adjustment Fund. Thanks to the equity and supporting debt instruments offered by Afreximbank, industrial complexes are emerging across Africa. The fund has supported the emergence of special economic zones in Gabon, Benin, and Togo, with some other development here in Rwanda and in Zambia, Malawi, and elsewhere. These industrial zones have changed the profiles of the countries from commodity exporting countries to exporters of value-added or manufactured goods, attracting multiple times the values gained from commodity exports, helping to achieve economic diversification, creating dynamic local economies with strong domestic supply chains, and above all, jobs and stable incomes for the people. Similar investments are spreading and are expected to reach at least 20 countries, as I said earlier, including here in Rwanda, Malawi, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Kenya, Congo Democratic Republic, the Republic of Chad, Zambia, and elsewhere by year end. Your Excellency, Rwanda is also poised to benefit significantly on the heels of the various supports provided by Afreximbank to Rwanda public and private sector entities. Feda has progressed a significant day pipeline in Rwanda. A number of investments are being processed across many sectors and industries, ranging from transport and trade logistics, manufacturing, agro-processing, and power generation. These equity investments, amounting to over $50 million, when concluded, will complement the over $400 million disbursed to Rwanda entities by Afreximbank in recent years. Boost local industrial activities, create domestic value chains, and elevate Rwanda's preparedness to harness the benefits of the AFCFTA. Through its equity investment vehicles, the fund is also resuscitating and giving a new lease of life to small and medium-scale manufacturing entities that would have otherwise seen untimely demise, like many others that have collapsed in the past. Feda is also enabling Africa to assume control of its financial system. By providing equity funding, Feda equips African entrepreneurs with the capacity to acquire subsidiaries of foreign or international banks exiting the continent. This is an essential move as it hands the African financial system to Africans and allows Africans to channel their capital to pro-growth sectors of the continent's economy. Your Excellency, we must recognize that the institutions we create ourselves are those that can take us out of poverty. We must therefore give them all the support that they need. As I bring my remarks to a close, I would again like to thank His Excellency President Paul Kagame, the Honorable Prime Minister, and the government and people of Rwanda for the support to Afreximbank since Afreximbank's inception, and now a strong support being provided to Feda. We're also grateful to His Excellency, the Honorable Prime Minister, for sparing the time from his very busy schedule to join us here today and to witness these events. Extend our gratitude to the board of Afreximbank, who saw value in this fund and accorded it all the funding and technical guidance needed, particularly at the teething phase of its establishment. Special thanks due to members of the board of Feda. Many took on this responsibility knowing that it was a sacrifice that they were making. Special thanks to the CEO, Malin Ngoyi, the CIO, Emmanuel, the senior executives of Feda, and others who have worked tirelessly to make sure that this fund cuts its teeth on the continent. And we're beginning to see that happen. We didn't expect profit, but we are very, very pleased that this set of dynamic young men and women who are leading the charge at Feda have been able to make it profitable at within a very, very short period. Congratulations. So now, thank you very much for joining us, and let me take this occasion to wish Feda all the success that it deserves. Thank you.
Of applause, please. Thank you. All right, with your permission, Right Honorable Prime Minister, more housekeeping rules. Just letting you know that right after our guest of honor gives us his remarks, he will, with his permission, remain on stage for a couple of group photos. I will give you, of course, all the details about the photos. So right after he's done with his speech, he will, with his permission, remain on stage, and then we'll proceed to the two group photos. Everybody else will remain seated. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guests of honor, the Right Honorable Dr. Edouard Ngirente, Prime Minister of the Republic of Rwanda.
Good morning. Honorable Cabinet members here present, Professor Benedict Orama, President and the Chairman of the Board of African Export-Import Bank, Afreximbank, Feda board members here present, and Afreximbank board members, Madam Marlene Ngoyi, CEO of the Fund of Export Development in Africa, Feda, distinguished guests. Today, I'm pleased to join the Afreximbank family on this special occasion for the official launch of the Office of the Fund for Export Development in Africa in Kigali. On behalf of His Excellency President Paul Kagame, I thank the Board of Directors of Afreximbank for the invitation extended to him. The President had wished to personally grace this ceremony, but could not due to other commitments. The establishment of the Fund for Export Development in Africa, headquarters in Rwanda, confirms the strong partnership between the government of Rwanda and Afreximbank. Today's ceremony also marks the first step of the implementation of the host country agreement signed in Cairo, Egypt in December 2021. Rwanda is pleased to host the Fund for Export Development in Africa and is committed to becoming a reliable partner towards fostering economic growth on the continent and promoting intra-Africa trade. Distinguished guests, currently, intra-Africa trade exports account for around 17% of total exports. This share is low compared to other continents. This reality indicates that our goods and services flow more readily to other continents, leaving untapped opportunities within our backyard. Some of the obstacles to the effective implementation of intra-Africa trade include low trade complementarity due to low economic diversification and limited productive capacities, as well as lack of adequate infrastructure. In this regard, I commend the Feda's efforts in changing this narrative by providing vital financial and technical assistance on activities that would promote and facilitate intra-Africa trade. This will not only empower businesses to thrive and create jobs, but also to drive sustainable economic progress for our people. I also note with satisfaction Feda's commitment to support African entrepreneurs and the companies in developing the vast potential of export markets on the continent. Distinguished guests, as I conclude, I would like to congratulate the Fund for Export Development in Africa, Feda, and Afreximbank for this milestone. I also call on you to invest in Rwandan projects, support us in upskilling Rwandans in the financial services sector, and contribute to positioning Rwanda as a financial hub in Africa. Together, let us seize this opportunity to unlock Africa's potential and chart a course towards a stronger future for all. On this note, it is now my pleasure, on behalf of His Excellency President Paul Kagame, to declare the Fund for Export Development in Africa office in Kigali officially launched. I thank you. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Right Honorable Prime Minister. You can clap more than that, I believe so. As he remains on stage, let me ask the president of Afreximbank, the Honorable Minister of Finance, the Chief Executive Officer of RDB, and the Chief Executive Officer of Feda to please join our guest of honor for a group photo. Joining them on stage right after this photo will be the Senior Executive Vice President of Afreximbank, the Executive Vice Presidents, right after that. The Executive Vice Presidents, there you go. And also Afreximbank and Feda board members. We'd also ask the Chief Investment Officer to join them on stage for this group photo. Thank you very much. More housekeeping announcements. Lunch will be served in this room, in this here room. So let's remain in this room. The symphony band will accompany us. We'll be playing as lunch is being served. We appreciate you being here. With your permission, our guest of honor, Right Honorable Prime Minister, I'll bring the official part of this event to a close. My name is Regis Isheja. I've been your Master of Ceremonies. As our guest of honor exits the room, let's remain seated, and lunch will be served in a short while. Thank you very much.